Inclination. A tendency or preference towards a particular course of action, belief, or feeling. She has a natural inclination towards music. The company's financial reports suggest an inclination towards growth.
Dissemination. The act of spreading information, knowledge, or ideas to a wider audience or across various channels. The government initiated a campaign for the dissemination of public health information regarding COVID-19. Social media platforms play a crucial role in the dissemination of news and updates to the general public.
Perseverance, continued effort to do or achieve something, even when this is difficult or takes a long time. Despite facing numerous challenges, she completed her degree with perseverance and determination. The success of the project was largely due to the team's perseverance in overcoming obstacles and staying committed to their goals.
Deficiency, a lack or insufficiency of something that is necessary or required. The school identified a deficiency in students' reading comprehension skills and implemented a remedial program. The company faced financial difficulties due to a deficiency in revenue caused by a decrease in sales.
Constraint. A limitation or restriction that inhibits or constrains someone or something from freely pursuing a desired course of action. The project timeline was tight, and the team had to work within the constraint of a strict deadline. Financial constraints prevented them from expanding their business as quickly as they had hoped.
Negotiation. A discussion or dialogue between two or more parties aimed at reaching a mutually beneficial agreement, settlement, or compromise. During salary negotiations, the candidate and the employer discussed terms and reached a mutually satisfactory agreement. The diplomats engaged in negotiations to resolve the trade dispute between the two countries.
Hierarchy, a system in which people or things are arranged according to their importance. In the military, there is a strict hierarchy of command, with generals at the top and privates at the bottom. Some monkeys have a very complex social hierarchy.
Speculation, the act of forming opinions or making guesses about something without having definite knowledge or evidence, often regarding future events or outcomes. There has been much speculation about the potential impact of climate change on global weather patterns and ecosystems. Rumors that they are about to marry have been dismissed as pure speculation.
Resemblance. The similarity or likeness between two or more people, things, or situations. The twins bore a striking resemblance to each other, making it difficult for others to tell them apart. There is a strong resemblance between the father and son, especially in their facial features and mannerisms.
Casualty, a person who is killed or injured in an accident, disaster, or conflict, or to the number of such victims. The hospital received multiple casualties following the train derailment. The paramedics rushed to the scene of the car accident to attend to the casualties and provide medical assistance.
Prejudice. A preconceived opinion or judgment about a person or group that is not based on reason or actual experience, often involving stereotypes or irrational beliefs. His prejudice against people from different cultural backgrounds made it difficult for him to interact with his diverse coworkers. The hiring manager's prejudice led to discriminatory practices against applicants of certain ethnicities.
Discrimination. The unfair or prejudicial treatment of people or groups based on certain characteristics such as race, ethnicity, gender, religion, sexual orientation, or age. Discrimination in hiring practices often results in qualified candidates being overlooked due to their race or ethnicity. The company was sued for discrimination after it was revealed that they were paying women employees less than their male counterparts for the same work.
Analogy. A comparison between two things, typically for the purpose of explanation or clarification, highlighting similarities between them. He drew an analogy between the brain and a vast computer. It is sometimes easier to illustrate an abstract concept by analogy with, equals by comparing it with, something concrete.
Accusation, a formal charge or claim that someone has done something wrong or illegal, typically accompanied by the belief or assertion that they are responsible for the act. The police arrested him based on the accusation of theft made by the store owner. She vehemently denied the accusation of plagiarism leveled against her by her colleagues.
Privilege, an advantage that only one person or group of people has, usually because of their position or because they are rich. Growing up in a wealthy family, he enjoyed the privilege of access to quality education and healthcare. Citizenship is a privilege that grants individuals legal rights and protections within a particular country, including the right to vote and access to social services. Assurance, a promise or guarantee given to instill confidence or certainty, often regarding the fulfillment of a commitment, the quality of a product or service, or the outcome of a situation. The company provided assurance to its customers that their personal data would be securely protected. He gave her assurance that he would always support her no matter what challenges they faced.
Exposure, the state of being subjected to or experiencing something, often used in contexts related to risk, vulnerability, or familiarity with certain experiences or environments. The workers were concerned about their exposure to hazardous chemicals in the factory. Her frequent travels allowed her to gain exposure to diverse cultures and ways of life.
Vanity. Excessive pride in one's appearance, achievements, or abilities, often accompanied by an inflated sense of self-importance or a desire for admiration from others. She spent hours in front of the mirror, consumed by her vanity and obsessed with her looks. His vanity prevented him from admitting his mistakes and seeking help when needed.
Ubiquity. The state of being everywhere or being very common and widespread, often used to describe something that is found or encountered everywhere. With the ubiquity of smartphones, people can access information and communicate with others from virtually anywhere. Social media platforms have achieved ubiquity in modern society, influencing how people connect, share, and consume content.
Catastrophe, a sudden and widespread disaster or misfortune that causes great damage, suffering, or loss. The financial crisis of 2008 was considered a catastrophe for many homeowners who lost their homes due to foreclosure. The COVID-19 pandemic has been described as a global catastrophe, impacting millions of lives and economies worldwide.
Retention, the act of retaining or keeping something, often used to describe the preservation or maintenance of certain qualities, information, or resources over time. Employee retention programs are implemented by companies to reduce turnover and retain valuable talent within the organization. Memory retention techniques, such as spaced repetition and mnemonic devices, can help improve the ability to recall information over time.
Longing, a strong, persistent desire or yearning for something that is absent or unattainable, often accompanied by feelings of nostalgia, sadness, or emptiness. After moving to a new city, she felt a deep longing for her childhood home and the familiar surroundings she left behind. The soldier experienced a longing for his family while stationed overseas, yearning for the comfort of their presence.
Bleak. Something that is lacking in hope, optimism, or cheerfulness. It can describe a situation or environment that is gloomy, desolate, or unpromising. The outlook for the company's financial future is bleak, with declining profits and increasing debt. After the war, the city lay in ruins, its streets empty and its buildings in shambles, presenting a bleak landscape of destruction.
Conviction. A firmly held belief or opinion, especially one that is strongly held and not easily swayed or changed. Despite facing numerous challenges, she pursued her dreams with unwavering conviction, believing in her ability to succeed. His conviction in the importance of education led him to advocate for increased funding for schools in underprivileged communities.
Distinction. The recognition or differentiation of a particular quality, characteristic, or feature that sets something or someone apart from others. The artist's work is characterized by its unique style and creative vision, earning her distinction in the art world. The distinction between right and wrong is often blurred in complex ethical dilemmas.
Wreck. The act of destroying or damaging something severely, often resulting in a state of ruin or disrepair. The storm wreaked havoc on the coastal town, leaving behind a trail of wrecked buildings and overturned vehicles. The car accident left the vehicle completely wrecked, with extensive damage to its frame and engine.
Adaptation. The process of adjusting to new conditions, environments, or circumstances in order to survive or thrive. Animals in the Arctic have developed thick fur and layers of fat as an adaptation to the extreme cold temperatures. The novel's adaptation into a film required changes to the storyline and characters to fit the cinematic format.
Irony. A situation in which something which was intended to have a particular result has the opposite or a very different result. The final irony of the situation was that Collins himself ordered the assassination. The irony is that his mistake will actually improve the team's situation.
Monopoly. The exclusive control or domination of a particular market by a single entity, often resulting in limited competition and the ability to set prices or control supply. The government imposed regulations to prevent monopolies in certain industries to promote fair competition and protect consumers. Standard Oil, founded by John D., was notorious for its monopoly over the oil industry in the late 19th and early 20th centuries.
Successor, a person or thing that comes after or takes the place of someone or something else, often in a role, position, or sequence. After the retirement of the CEO, his son was appointed as his successor to lead the company. The new software program is designed to be the successor to the outdated version, offering improved features and functionality.
Contempt, a feeling of disdain, scorn, or lack of respect towards someone or something considered to be unworthy, inferior, or deserving of disdain. The defendant showed contempt for the court by repeatedly interrupting the judge during the trial. She held her rival in contempt, viewing them as incompetent and unworthy of recognition.
Hospitality. The friendly and generous reception and treatment of guests or strangers, often including offering them food, lodging, and other amenities to ensure their comfort and well-being. The hotel staff's hospitality made the guests feel welcome and valued during their stay. She extended her hospitality by inviting her new neighbors over for dinner and showing them around the neighborhood.
Deception. The act of deliberately misleading or tricking someone into believing something that is not true, often with the intention of gaining an advantage or causing harm. The con artist used deception to persuade the elderly couple to invest their life savings in a fraudulent scheme. The magician's performance relies on sleight of hand and deception to create the illusion of magic.
Competence. The ability, skill, or capability to perform a task or fulfill a role effectively and proficiently. His competence in problem-solving and critical thinking enabled him to excel in his academic studies. The company values employees who demonstrate competence in their respective roles and contribute positively to the team.
Resentment, a feeling of bitterness, anger, or indignation resulting from a perceived injustice, unfair treatment, or a sense of being wronged by others. His constant criticism of her work fostered resentment and strained their professional relationship. The residents expressed resentment towards the city council for neglecting their neighborhood's infrastructure needs.
Discretion, the ability to make careful and responsible decisions, typically in a way that maintains confidentiality, sensitivity, or tactfulness. As a teacher, she used her discretion when deciding how to address sensitive topics with her students. It's important for journalists to use discretion when reporting on sensitive matters to avoid causing harm or offense to individuals or communities.
Endurance, the ability to persist or withstand hardship, fatigue, or adversity over an extended period of time. Marathon runners train extensively to build their endurance and stamina for long-distance races. Mental endurance is just as important as physical endurance when facing challenges or setbacks in life.
Solitude. The state of being alone or isolated from others, often by choice, providing an opportunity for introspection, reflection, and personal growth. The artist found inspiration in solitude, creating some of their most profound works during periods of introspection and seclusion. Despite enjoying social interactions, she also valued solitude as a time for self-discovery and contemplation.
Plethora. An excessive or overabundant quantity of something, often implying an overwhelming or surplus amount. The market offers a plethora of options for consumers, ranging from various brands to a wide array of products. She was overwhelmed by the plethora of information available online, making it difficult to discern what was accurate and relevant.
Nostalgia, a sentimental longing or affectionate remembrance for the past, often accompanied by a sense of warmth or bittersweetness. The scent of freshly baked cookies brought back waves of nostalgia, reminding him of his grandmother's kitchen. Seeing an old photograph from her childhood filled her with nostalgia, as she reminisced about the carefree days of her youth.
Intervention. The act of becoming involved in a situation in order to alter or modify its course, often with the aim of improving outcomes or preventing harm. The government implemented an intervention program to address the rising rates of unemployment among young adults. The United Nations authorized a humanitarian intervention to provide aid and protection to civilians affected by the conflict.
Courtesy. Polite behavior, respect, and consideration shown towards others, often characterized by acts of kindness, politeness, and thoughtfulness. Holding the door open for someone behind you is a simple act of courtesy that shows respect and consideration. Saying please and thank you when interacting with others demonstrates good manners and courtesy.
Inspection. Examining something closely and thoroughly in order to assess its condition, quality, or compliance with standards or regulations. The building underwent a thorough inspection by a team of engineers to ensure its structural integrity. The car was taken to the mechanic for an inspection to identify any potential issues or maintenance needs.